Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again with yet another deck tech, and today's one is tribute to one of the major villains, I suppose, that have been coming around recently across MTGO well, Magic in general for the last few years, and that villain is obviously Elesh Norn. Today's deck tech is going to be having Elesh Norn Grand Cenobite as the commander. I am looking at doing a whole separate deck tech based around this version of Elesh Norn. But this one's also in the deck, and along with the one that came from Phyrexian Or will be one. I've got all three versions of Elesh Norn in the deck. The Grand Cenobite is going to be the commander for the sake of this day, but I decided it's just a bit of fun for me. I like having this occasionally. We get a whole different, variations of the same character. One of the other ones I'm looking at the moment that I realised I hadn't done is Garrick, but I'm not quite sure how we're going to do that yet, since Garrick's a Planeswalker and we haven't had a Garrick Planeswalker that can be the commander yet, so it's a little bit more tricky. But I figured it was time to have a bit of fun with Elesh Norn. So, using the Grand Cenobite as the commander, this is what the deck looks like. There's probably nothing here that's going to be unexpected. We'll start like I always do, whole load of lands. Broker's Hideout, Cabaret Courtyard, and Obscura Storefront, just so we can go and search them out. Castle Ardenvale's in. I don't know why Command Tower's in, I just put it in automatically, I think, in any commander deck I build. We have got Nykthos in, Shrine to Nyx, because we are playing a monocolour deck and it's always worth. My rule is, if it's mono or dual, see if you can fit this in. This is mono, I can definitely fit this one in. Emeria, the Sky Rune, is also here because we are just playing a whole load of basic planes, and some of the other cards we have in the deck are also planes like Mistfield Plains, Idyllic Grange, if I remember correctly. It's worth having them in, and it just means we've got a way of getting stuff back from our graveyard that we don't have to pay any mana for if we have to. Because we are playing Elesh Norn, I mean, like I say, you can. I've got the Mother of Machines is here, and obviously the other version of Elesh Norn's here. You can swap over which one you want to play as your commander for this, but I'm going with Elesh Norn because the Grand Cenobite because I wanted to. And what I've tried to do with the deck is try and incorporate bits that work with each of the special versions of Elesh Norn we have in the deck. So I'm just going to go through the ramp really quickly. Mana Vault, Mana Crypt, get them the right way around as I'm saying the words. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Arcane Signet. I haven't put in Soul Ring. Don't know. Maybe you can have it in. You can drop one of these probably to put Soul Ring in if you want to. I decide to have a break from playing Soul Ring for one deck. But it is kind of there. So let's just go through the cards so we can have the fun stuff of it. Authority of Consuls. This means if I've got my thingy right, if a permanent entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, triggers additional time. So if we have that version of Elesh Norn, we gain a couple of life. Legion's Landing gives us a couple of tokens when we hit in with that version of Elesh Norn in. Elixir of Immortality lets us shuffle everything back in. An Expedition map is purely here to go find Nykthos. Not going to argue it any other way. Use this to get the end. Going up to the 2-drops, Imposing Sovereign, just to slow down everyone's creatures coming into play. Intangible Virtue, because we do have a lot of token generation in this deck. Loyal Warhound goes and gets us a plane. Luminarch Ascension is a way of making tokens if we can prevent damage hitting us. Luminarch Expirant gives us +1/+1 counters, which is quite nice. Raise the Alarm, Server Expedition give us creatures really quickly. Skrev's Hide is a Phyrexian thing, so I figured, gives us a whole load of Phyrexian mites. We do have Sutra Priest in, which will hopefully, if we can get both into play, means that we get a 1/1 with Toxic that can't block each turn, but we kind of nullify the life we're losing. Anyway, and Offends is in as well to make our non-token creatures bigger, and White of the Night Orchid again to go and fetch a plane out. Hero's Blade, because we've got quite a few legendaries in here, so there's no point not having this in as far as I'm concerned. And Plague Mere, it's another Phyrexian that ramps slightly, has Infect, which, people do forget about occasionally, so it does help. Borrowed Times here just gives a bit of removal. Charge of the mites again for a little bit more removal at instant speed, equal to number of creatures we control, or we get a couple of mites, which might be useful. Heliod's in, so we can gain the life, give something a lifelink. And then we've got some of the battles in. So we've got the invasion of Bellon in as well. Hopefully we can flick it quickly to pump all our creatures even more. And the invasion of Dominaria's in. I've had to play this really, didn't I? The 4 life of the card draw is quite nice, and flipping into an angel is probably not a bad idea either once we get there. Lauren of the Third Path is in purely because it goes so well with this to take out annoying artifacts and enchantments and gives us a little bit of card draw. Monastery Mentor, just so we can get some more monks. We've got quite a few things. We've got 32 creatures, 32 other spells, so we should get a few prowessy monks off this with a bit of luck. Siege Veteran gives us a +1/+1, and whenever another non-token soldier of control dies, we get a soldier token. Don't think I've got that many soldiers in the deck here, but I put it in to chuck around the +1/+1s. Adelaine's here. We know what this does, along with Brimass and Mirren Crusader. Just so we got a bit of pro-black, pro-green, and some double strike, so that's fun. Anointed Procession, because we've got so many token generators in the deck, which help out. Heliod to make some tokens and give all our creatures life vigilance. Core Cartographer goes and fetches us one of the planes we might need. Might Overseer is another Phyrexian one, which means we can get around the stage 3 on Argent Etchings when we get there. And it gives us a way of creating tokens. Now, with Nykthos in play and this coming along, we might have a really good chance of making a whole swarm of mites, especially if we've got Anointed Procession in play as well. Anyway, from there, Miriel's Shield of the Argive is in. There's one of the soldiers we've got. Another way of producing tokens, which will get pumped up nicely when we hit Elesh Norn from over here. Oketra the True. I did try and put the God plane in, the God battle in, where you can go and fetch a God, but I forgot that flips into a blue-white version, so that had to come out. But Oketra gives us quite a nice little bit of double striking 3/6 power, and somewhere else to dump all our mana into to produce more tokens if we need to. It's a white deck, Smothering Tides here. It's a bit like my red decks, I always have Dockside Extortionist. White decks always have Smothering Tides somewhere. Court of Grace is in. We either get a spirit or an angel, whichever we're doing at the moment. Elesh Norn, I've already mentioned, I'm not going into it again. Linvala, Keeper of Silence, stops all our opponents activating the abilities of their creatures. And Moondrake, a Glory of Dominus, another Phyrexian one we can actually make indestructible with the amount of creatures we can sack, and helps us double up on our token production. Elesh Norn, I've already mentioned. Angelic Chorus is one I'm playing around with still. I still like this card, and it does help us with our life gain, especially if we manage to get this into play with the Hive in the background. Again, it nullifies the 1 life we lose. But, if we're pumping out a whole load of tokens every turn, we should be at a point where, we gain a lot of life, especially if we got this version of Elesh Norn in, because they'll see him come in as 3 toughness for the 1/1, so, seemed good. And if we stack them properly, Cathy's Crusade means they'll come in even bigger, so bear that in mind. Defiler of the Faith, another Phyrexian human. Another way to pump out some tokens, which works really nicely with this one, Yeah, it's kind of fun. And then Divine Visitation. Yeah, I'll tell you what, let's turn all my tokens I'm producing at 1/1 into 4/4 angels. That sounds like a lot better plan to me overall. God Eternal Oketra is in as well to give us some zombies as we play our creature spells. Silverwing Squadron, power and toughness equals the number of creatures you control, and whenever it attacks, create a number of 2/2 White Knight creature tokens with vigilance equal to the number of opponents you have. You're always going to get at least 1. Most of the time when you cast this, you might get 3, which is really nice. And 3 becomes 6, can become 12. Bit scary. Anyway. Sun Titan's here to bring stuff back from our graveyard. I'm pretty sure this is some sort of Phyrexian in disguise. And obviously Wormcoil Engine is a Phyrexian and it's a really good card, so hence it's here. Achroma's in, Vision of Ixidor, because I don't know why, to be honest. I just put it in because I wanted to play it, so it's appeared. Ancient Gold Dragon's here, if that makes more sense. A load more flying creature blockers we get, which become really big with this one in play. Do I need to say anything? It's a Phyrexian creature. Let's just say it's that. Okay. And then the final few things. We've got Secure the Waste, we've got Finale of Glory, we've got the Grand Crescendo, and the slight mass removal spell in the deck is the White Sun's Twilight, mainly because it leaves us a load of Phyrexian Mites behind, which seemed like a good plan to me. So that's it. That's my take on the multiple versions of our dear friend Elesh Norn. Just move things around so I can flick through them a little bit easier. There we go. Yeah, like I say, any one of these three can be your commander. I am going to do a whole separate deck tech on this version of Elesh Norn at some stage. So yeah, this is why this deck tech's been labelled as Elesh Norn Tribal. You'll see this one will be coming out in the next week or so. So keep your eyes out for that. Hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment, let you know what you think of this deck. Like I say, it's just purely fun today. I needed a break from doing serious deck techs, and this is my fun one. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave me some comments about your sort of things you like to do when you're having fun in Commander. And I'll either catch you on stream, on Twitch, link in the description, go have a look-see. And you can watch the next video next time I'm on YouTube. Take care. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.